Hi, it's Malcolm from Aquaspray. If you follow us on Instagram, you will know about this machine. This was the one that was in a van fire. I'm going to see if I can repair it. Today's just going to be a quick overview of it. I'm going to do a series of videos. I'll put them in a playlist, all numbered, so it's easy step by step of what I find and how I plan to repair it, if at all it is possible. It's obviously got to be safe for the customer and it's got to work to perfect pressure. And also it's not going to cost as much as buying a new machine. This is the machine as it is today. The main thing is what did actually happen to it. Well, of course, it was in a van fire. It was travelling down a dual carriageway. He says he opened the window and then all of a sudden the cabin started filling with smoke. So of course he pulled over. Luckily enough, he had the sort of centre on the chevrons there to pull over. And he got out, opened the back door, and was met with pretty much exactly what you can see in this little short video. So he took his phone out and took a quick video, as you do. The fire brigade came and whatnot and put the fire out. So the way the van was set out is he's got obviously a shelf above the top of the generator. Now he said he didn't use the Jenny that day at all. He doesn't know exactly what happened. The fire investigators don't know what happened. The generator was still full of fuel. So he says it wasn't really a petrol problem. Everything is just destroyed in the back there. It's amazing. He's got a partition between where the sliding door is and the back doors to where the water tank is. And the pressure washer was on the top of the water tank, as you can see. Well, of course, with the heat and everything, that's what's happening with... Well, that's what happened with the melting of the casings, because all the heat at the top of the van just must have been tremendous. So when you see this sort of thing, you automatically go to the generator and being full of petrol, and petrol's very flammable, or certainly the vapor is, and you only need a source of ignition. But when you're a mobile detailer, there's lots of different things there's lots of chemicals and lots of things that are flammable. So it could have been absolutely anything with a bit of a source of ignition. You know, some tyre shines are flammable, things like that. So, of course, you'll need to have a lid off and it falls over when you're driving, and a source of ignition of some sort. And yeah, you just have to be really, really careful. You know, make sure everything's put back in its place and there's nothing that can touch something that's hot, anything like that, before you start driving. This guy lost pretty much everything. His whole business was set around this van, and it's a real shame to see it. So let's at least try and get this machine back to square one. Obviously the plastics are melted. I'm not bothered about the plastics. You know, plastic can be replaced easy enough. They're only a few quid. Everything is just full of soot. Every bit of plastic has melted. I will have to check the cable. I prefer to probably change the cable just in case there's any heat got through to the actual main cores of the cable. But I mean, we can test that with a resistance, maybe pat test it as well, just to see what's what. Obviously we need to know what's in the Alecci box, which we'll do a bit later on. So we got the pressure gauge is absolutely destroyed plastic cover. I'll be looking to see what's actually behind that, because I think you'll probably be okay. So I'm going to prise that off at one point. We'll do that later on. The pressure reducing knob is melted here. The oil sight glass, the oil top, the little cable gland for the cable. It's absolutely covered in soot and muck, which is expected. you can actually see where the capacitor sits. Let's move the camera a little bit. So you can actually see where the capacitor sits and where the switch was. And this is the rubber cover for that switch. That switch will be absolutely knackered now. You can see also where the connection is, where the capacitor fits into this like connector block here, and the motor wires go in there. You can see different bits of wire where they are. It's a strange looking thing. It almost looks like something out of the Chernobyl disaster. The brass pump itself, oh, let me get the camera going again. Brass pump itself, there'll be absolutely nothing wrong with this brass pump. This will be absolutely perfect. I'm not sure about whether the heat got to the valves and melted the valves. It's a possibility. Certainly like the O-rings and things like that could have been melted. We will strip this down and have a look anyway. The same with the seals. Same with the seals. Not a lot you can do until we strip it down. The main thing is I think it's just dirty. Looking at the actual, let's see if I can get a close up. Looking at the filter, I'm going to assume that he did not put a brand new filter in there, but it actually looks brand new. There's no melting, nothing for that filter, which tells me that the pump and the valves could be okay. Might be because if there's water been in there, even with the heat, you know, it's got to get to 100 degrees before it sort of evaporates off. But that water might have saved all the pump and cooled it down enough. Obviously not for the plastics. I think the hardest bit really is to be able to find out what's actually under this and see what's what. It's absolutely melted like mad. So yeah, I'm going to look forward to stripping this down. I'm going to be doing this in my own time, in my own house. So I'm going to need to find out, you know, it's going to be over a few weeks this, you know, because I haven't got much time really at home. But I'm going to strip the pump off. I'll do it all in sections. I'll take the pump off and check it all. And before I put anything back, I'll make sure it's all spotlessly clean. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if I can get this machine back up and running for the customer cost effectively. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when the new videos come out of all the different stages, and I'll see you in the next one.